In today's lesson, we're going to take a look at how to add images, but we're also going to go over previous concepts. And I'm also going to introduce you to your new little side project. Again, this is recommended, but it's not required. So let's first start off by making a new folder. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my HTML file from last time, and you'll see there's lesson 2. And under lesson 2, I'm just going to create a new one. I'm just going to call this lesson 3. And please note that this has nothing to do with the lesson number. So even though right now I'm teaching you lesson number 9, this is just lesson number 3, meaning that this is project number 3. So I'm going to double click in here, and that's it. So if I go back into Atom, I'm going to click on Add Folders. From here, again, I'm in Documents. I have to just make my way into my other directory, and this can easily be done by right-clicking at the top. Left-clicking at the top, and then right-clicking the whole thing and copying it. And then if I go back into Atom, if I click on the top and I press Control V, or if I just right-click and click on Paste, this should be here. And if I press Enter, there is nothing, and that is what I want, and I click on Select Folder, and now I'm in my Lesson 3 folder. So before I continue, I'm going to quickly just close these 2 tabs, and I'm going to set up a new file. So I'm going to right-click on this, and I'm going to click on New File, and I'm going to call this index.html, because it is the main page.html. Note that there is an index.html file in here, so I really don't need this for now, so I'm going to minimize it. So you guys by now should be knowing the boilerplate, so I'm just going to quickly type in the boilerplate by typing in HTML and then pressing Enter. For now, I'm going to delete lang and dir because we have not learned that yet, and we have our boilerplate. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and type in the title, and I'm going to call this lesson 9. Even though it says lesson 3 here, in reality it's a lesson 9. But if you guys want, you guys can simply also call this lesson adding images. This may be easier for you guys. So from here, what I'm going to start off is by introducing images and websites. So every single image has an address, a location, or a place where it's originated from. So if I go ahead and in my browser tab, I go ahead and type in, for example, image, and I go to my images, and I have Baby Yoda over here. You'll see if I right click this, I could copy the image address. This is the location of where the image is located. So if I paste this in a new tab, you'll see I have Baby Yoda. So I'm going to go ahead and start bringing over my slides. So image tags are actually used for bringing the image onto our website to enhance the user experience. So I will show you in a few minutes, but on the slides, or if you scroll down below, you'll see the slideshow over there too. You will see that there's an image tag, and we have this underline to represent some attributes that are necessary. So an example of us using the image tag can be us typing in image, and then src is equal to whatever. Well, this whatever is actually very important, and we just talked about it. So let's go ahead and go over that. So let's go, and in between our body tags, let's type in image. And remember, we have to have these greater than and less than signs. And after this image, I'm going to go ahead and type in space src is equal to, and then I'm going to type in the location of the image. So if I could type in paste, and I have the location of my image. So SRC stands for source. So where is this image located? Where is the source of this image? That's what SRC stands for. And again, this over here is just a Baby Yoda address. So if I right click on this image again, and I click on copy image address, I now have the location of where this image is located. So if I just highlight this all, delete it, and I press Control V, I now have the location of where Baby Yoda's image is. So if I click on Control S, and I open up our website on our browser. So if I click on this and I open it up, let's see from here. Let's open with, and I'm going to do Chrome. There you go. So that's how I opened it. Well, if you also didn't want to open the image like this, you can simply just go to the left, right click on that, and then click on copy project path or copy full path. And after you copy the full path, not the project path, full path, and you press Ctrl V, you'll get our website. And we know this is our website because, again, lesson adding images and lesson adding images match in the title and in the title. So this is one way of adding an image really quickly. I mean, you could just throw on 1,000 images within a matter of thousands of minutes, because that's a lot of images. But you kind of get the point. It's really fast and easy. But all these images are located on a specific website. So remember how I pasted our address of our Baby Yoda image? This is a website. So if I get rid of this in the back and I just leave it as .com and I load this up, you'll see this is some sort of website that I am not familiar with, but it is a website. Since this is a big website, this address of this Baby Yoda loads fairly quickly. So if I click on it, you'll see after some time, it loaded. But let's say this was a very small company or a small startup with a very small website. It wouldn't be as reliable because opening up an image from there can take up to 5, 10, 20, I don't know how long it's going to take, but it could take very long. So instead of doing this, you can simply download the image, but I'm going to explain more about that in a minute. There's also one more issue with copying the image address. Well, what if this site ended up shutting down? Well, then all these images that they have would also go with it. So I would lose everything. So what I would do instead is save the image to my drive. So basically what I'm going to do is download the Baby Yoda image. And instead of Baby Yoda image, I'm going to download this orange image. So I'm going to right click on this. I'm going to click on Save Image As. And I'm going to save it in the location of this folder. And again, how do I get here? I could just go ahead and right click on lesson 3. And I'm going to click on copy full path. And at the top, I'm going to type in Control V and enter. And here I could start naming my image. I'm going to call this orange. And this is a JPEG image. So I'm just going to click on save. So all we did was basically save the image to the location of our folder. So under lesson 3, we have orange.jpg. So instead of source over here, I can simply get rid of this and I can just type in our orange.jpg. So orange.jpg, like that. So what do you think is going to happen? Is it going to work? Well, let's see if you were correct. If I go back onto my website and I reload it, I have an orange and it worked. And this only worked because the location of the orange image was on the same level as the location of the index.html. So this was not in a folder. So if I was here, I could quickly walk over here. I didn't have to go through another folder. But in 99.9% of the scenarios in the real world, we're going to need a bunch of folders to organize our work. Pretend like we had 1,000 images. Well, it would have looked like a mess. It already kind of looks like a mess. What is this orange.jpg doing with its index.html? It's confusing. So let's go ahead and fix this. Let's create a folder by right-clicking on lesson 3. And I'm going to call this, let's call this images. And in this images folder, I have nothing. But I'm going to just drag my orange in there. So if I go ahead and reload my page, you'll see nothing appears. Everything is gone. Well, it's still here. Why isn't this working? It's because now I can't simply just walk to my image. Instead, I have to walk to this images folder. Then from there, I have to walk to my orange.jpg. So how do I walk from here to there? Well, first, I'm going to do the regular walk, which is just typing in the location. So I'm just simply going to walk to my images folder. From there, I want to go into my images folder. So this means go into. And then I want to walk to my oranges.jpg and get that. So if I press Ctrl S and I reload the page, you'll see over here the orange image appears. Well, that's a quite simple, fun way of doing something. So we've done this. I kind of want to challenge you now. Can you create your own website where you have your lists and you have your image and you have your horizontal rule, you have your center tag, and you have everything that you've learned? And can you kind of create your own personal portfolio? And what I mean by this is nothing that's complex, something that's very simple. And in fact, I could prove that it's going to be very simple by making it with you right now. So what I'm going to do is go over to my index.html, which I'm already in, and I'm going to rename this to my site. That way it's a little bit more personal. And in my body, I'm just going to delete this image for now. Now from here, I could start typing my code. So I'm going to go ahead and type in h1, and I'm going to type in welcome. And if I reload my page, I have welcome over here. And I could type in center. Oops. I have to type in my center like that. And I could just click enter. And then I'm just going to copy this, paste it in there, and reload it. And I have welcome in the middle. I'm going to add an image below this. So I'm going to add a horizontal rule, so HR. And if I reload the page, I have this. I'm going to add my image in here. So I'm going to type in image. Oops, sorry, I have to do that. And I'm going to type in source of the image. So the source is going to be the downloaded orange. So I'm going to write source is equal to images or image /orange.jpg. So I'm going to reload the page. But for some reason, this icon appeared. This little page icon. What does this mean? Well, this means that the image actually has not been found. And if you look back, you'll notice that I wrote image over here. This is supposed to be plural. So if I type in S and reload the page, you can see it worked. But let's say I didn't realize this. And if I go ahead and save this and reload my page, it's still showing this. Well, how can I write it so that I know there's going to be an error? Well, there's something called an alt tag, ALT. Alt tag stands for alternative tag. So I can write alt is equal to, for example, error. And what this would do is basically load error as text right below this file, this image over here, if we cannot locate the image. So as you can see, this is wrong. It's not image, it's images. And over here it says error. Okay, but oftentimes we don't write error. Instead, we just write something a little bit more useful. We would write something, for example, orange image. And that way, if it doesn't load, the person that's using it will know, oh, that's an orange image. And in the scenario that we do type this correct, and I save it, you'll see the orange appears and the text disappears. This is very important, and you must add this every time. It's not a requirement, but I would highly recommend this, as it'll take your site to the next level. But before we continue, we're still not done. There's something still off. There's a random orange floating around to the left. Well, first off, let's center this by copying it and pasting it over here. So if I reload this, we have our orange over here. I want to paste my HR in the middle so it separates the title. And I want to add some list. So as you might remember from the previous lesson, which is lesson number 8, we talked about lists. So before my image, I'm gonna make another heading. I'm gonna call this H3, and I'm gonna call this fruits. And under this, I'm gonna create an ordered list, and I want this list to basically represent which fruits I like over others. Or instead of fruits, I'm gonna write food to just be a little bit more broad. So in here, I'm gonna add a list item. Remember what a list item is. And I'm gonna type in number 1, orange, because that's the image I have. After that, I want to type in let's see, pizza. And then I could type in I don't know, anything. It could be, for example, banana. Oops, I can never type in banana. It's too many na. So if I reload this, you'll see that our list items did appear, but the numbers are off to the left. Well, for now, we're not going to correct this. Instead, what we're going to do is end the center tag just before this. So it's going to look a little bit ugly, but we really don't have an option. So if I reload this, yes, I have a welcome in the middle, and on the left, we have my favorite food, and then I have orange number 1 pizza, and then banana, and then I have my picture of the orange under that. So this is a quick way on creating your personal site. I want you to completely customize this. So I want you to add your favorite foods, list a bunch, put some images around, have some horizontal rules, have some BRs, and then maybe even talk about your favorite sports or anything that you want. And with that, you are done this lesson. Congratulations on finishing this hard lesson.